pale upon the balcony of the east, ancient Tithonus' concubine appeared, but lately from her lover's arms released. Across her brow, their radiance like a veil, a scroll of gems was set, worked in the shape of the cold beast whose sting is in his tail. And now already, where we were, the night had taken 2 steps upward, while the third thrust down its wings in the first stroke of flight. When I, by Adam's weight of flesh defeated, was overcome by sleep, and sank to rest across the grass on which we 5 were seated. At that new hour when the first dawn light grows, and the little swallow starts her mournful cry, perhaps in memory of her former woes, and when the mind, escaped from its submission to flesh and to the chains of waking thought, becomes almost prophetic in its vision. In a dream I saw a soaring eagle hold the shining height of heaven, poised to strike, yet motionless on widespread wings of gold. He seemed to hover where old history records that Ganymede rose from his friends, borne off to the supreme consistory. I thought to myself, perhaps his habit is to strike at this one spot. Perhaps he scorns to take his prey from any place but this. Then from his easy wheel in heaven's spire, terrible as a lightning bolt, he struck and snatched me up high as the sphere of fire. It seemed that we were swept in a great blaze, and the imaginary fire so scorched me my sleep broke, and I wakened in a daze. Achilles must have roused exactly thus, glancing about with unadjusted eyes, now here, now there, not knowing where he was. When Thetis stole him sleeping, still a boy, and fled with him from Chiron's care to Skyros, whence the Greeks later lured him off to Troy. I sat up with a start, and as sleep fled out of my face, I turned the deathly white of one whose blood is turned to ice by dread. There at my side my comfort sat, alone. The sun stood 2 hours high, and more. I sat facing the sea. The flowering glen was gone. "Don't be afraid," he said. "From here our course leads us to joy, you may be sure. Now, therefore, hold nothing back, but strive with all your force. You are now at Purgatory. See the great encircling rampart there ahead, and see that opening. It contains the golden gate." A while back, in the dawn before the day, while still your soul was locked in sleep inside you, across the flowers that made the valley gay, a lady came. "I am Lucia," she said. "Let me take up this sleeping man and bear him that he may wake to see his hope ahead." Sordello and the others stayed. She bent and took you up, and as the light grew full she led, I followed, up the sweet ascent. Here she put you down, and then with a sweep of her sweet eyes she marked that open entrance. Then she was gone, and with her went your sleep. As one who finds his doubt dispelled, sheds fear and feels it change into new confidence as bit by bit he sees the truth shine clear. So did I change, and seeing my face brim with happiness, my guide set off at once to climb the slope, and I moved after him. Reader, you know to what exalted height I raised my theme. Small wonder if I now summon still greater art to what I write. As we drew near the height, we reached a place from which, inside what I had first believed to be an open breach in the rock face, I saw a great gate fixed in place above 3 steps, each with its own color, and a guard who did not say a word and did not move. Slow bit by bit, raising my lids with care, I made him out seated on the top step, his face more radiant than my eyes could bear. He held a drawn sword, and the eye of day beat such a fire back from it that each time I tried to look, I had to look away. I heard him call, "What is your business here? Answer from where you stand. Where is your guide? Take care you do not find your coming dear." "A little while ago," my teacher said, "a heavenly lady, well versed in these matters, told us, 'Go there, that is the gate ahead. And she may still assist you once inside, for to your soul's good. Come forward to our 3 steps,' the courteous keeper of the gate replied. We came to the first step, white marble gleaming, so polished and so smooth that in its mirror I saw my true reflection past all seeming. The second was stained darker than blue-black, and of a rough-grained and fire-flaked stone, its length and breadth crisscrossed by many a crack. The third and topmost was of porphyry, or so it seemed, but of a red as flaming as blood that spurts out of an artery. Porphyry. It's a weird spelled word. The angel of the Lord had both feet on this final step, and sat upon the sill, which seemed made of some adamantine stone. With great good will my master guided me up the 3 steps, and whispered in my ear, "Now beg him humbly that he turn the key." Devoutly prostrate at his holy feet, I begged in mercy's name to be let in, but first 3 times upon my breast I beat. 7 P's, the 7 scars of sin, his sword point cut into my brow. He said, "Scrub off these wounds when you have passed within." Color of ashes, of parched earth one sees deep in an excavation, where his vestments, and from beneath them were his vestments, and from beneath them he drew out 2 keys. One was of gold, one silver. He applied the white one to the gate first, then the yellow, and did with them what left me satisfied. Whenever either of these keys is put improperly in the lock and fails to turn it, the angel said to us, the door stays shut. One is more precious, the other is so wrought as to require the greater skill and genius, for it is that one which unties the knot. They are from Peter, and he bade me be more eager to let in than to keep out whoever cast himself prostrate before me. Then, opening the sacred portals wide, he said, "Enter, but first be warned. Do not look back, or you will find yourself once more outside." The Tarpeian rock face, in that fatal hour that robbed it of Metellus, and then the treasure, did not give off so loud and harsh a roar, as did the pivots of the holy gate, which were of resonant and hard-forged metal, when they turned under their enormous weight. At the first thunderous roll, I turned half round, for it seemed to me I heard a chorus singing Te Deum Laudamus, mixed with that sweet sound. I stood there, and the strains that reached my ears left on my soul exactly that impression a man receives who goes to church and hears the choir and organ ringing out their chords, and now does not make out their words.